Welcome to the Church Checkup Challenge. This is going to be a 7-day adventure, AJ,
Yeah,
into looking at the health of your church and seeing what's working, what's not working, and helping you to self-reflect on the health of your church. Imagine that you've got a dashboard in front of you in your car, and what we're trying to do is find out, are there any of those little indicator lights that are turning on and saying, oh, here's something we need to work on. And so each day of this challenge, we're going to be addressing a specific topic, and we're giving you a tool that you can use that can help you to see whether or not there's an indicator light on in that area of church health. So we're beginning today, AJ, with the most fundamental aspect of church health, which is our commitment to a Great Commission mission and having values that kind of come out of a Great Commission mission.
yeah, exactly. We see two sides to the coin of the Great Commission: evangelism, making disciples of all nations, and then edification, teach them to obey everything that I've commanded you. So it's our maturity in our faith, and so that's where we always start with churches is establishing or clarifying, reestablishing this foundation that we're going to be a church that makes disciples and help mature people in their faith so that they become disciple makers as well. So, and from there, our core values root us in what does a mature disciple not necessarily look like, but what are the actions that a mature disciple does that are obvious outwardly? The Holy Spirit does an amazing work in every individual, and we see that result in the fruits of the Spirit. But what are the outward actions that we as believers take so that we're kind of working on our own faith and doing the things that God has called us to do? That's what our values are. That's what actionable core values are in the church. We're going to come back to that on day 3 and look a little bit more at that when we talk about ministries. But for today's foundation in mission, we've got a simple assessment for you to do that is going to give you some probing questions and maybe challenge whether you are a church that is rooted in the Great Commission and desiring the results of that or not. And so I think this is a great way to start the year. Are we a church on mission, or are we perhaps just a church with a mission statement presently? And that might not even be the case for
Yeah,
some
and
of
you may
you.
not
So,
even have that, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that there's a lot of I don't want to say discussion or debate. The church consulting space is pretty small and niche. It's not a huge group, I guess. But there's some debate, I guess, depending on what book you read. What matters? Do we need to have a mission statement? Do we need to have one that's really unique and flashy? And do we need to have one that's rooted to our local community area? Do we need to have one that could just be copy and pasted from some other church? And to me, those are ancillary issues around the core question, which is every church, whether you're in Africa, the United States, India, Australia, Great Britain, it doesn't matter. Anywhere you are on this planet, every church has to have a mission that's rooted in the Great Commission to make and mature disciples. That's it. And you certainly have the freedom and the permission to contextualize that and to use your own language and your own words that resonate with your specific community. But the core question to me, AJ, when we're talking about diagnosing church health, isn't how good is your actual mission statement. It's how effective and how committed are we at living it out, number one.
Mhm.
And number two, what other side missions have maybe begun to crowd out our ability to do out the real thing. AJ, you're not a video game player. I don't
No,
think. Yeah,
no.
and I'm not really either, but I've got kids. And so maybe some of you watching have kids who play video games. In video games, sometimes, AJ, they've got the main quest and they've got side quests. And so, you can do these little side quests, and perhaps they have some ancillary benefit to you, I guess, as you play the game, but it doesn't drive the plot forward in any way. If you really want to drive the plot forward, you have to do the main quest. And so I think what happens for a lot of churches is there's a lot of side quests going on,
Mhm.
things that may have some fringe benefit to you as a church, but you lost the plot. You've lost the main quest. And the Great Commission is the main quest. It's the thing that you're supposed to be doing. And so our goal for today, with the tool that we're providing for you, is to help you to reflect on where are we at in alignment with the Great Commission, and has anything kind of begun to detract away from that?
Yeah. So in the email that you received today that had the link to watch this video, there's also one there to download today's audit that you can do on mission in your church. So please click on that, download it, print it off. You might even want to distribute that to your leaders, your senior leader team, and compare the results of how you assess yourselves in your next meeting. And then be looking forward to tomorrow, because your day 2 will be there in your inbox, and we'll be talking about worship. So thanks for being with us on day 1 of the challenge. Stick with it. We're anxious to see how it goes in the end.
Yep, we'll see you tomorrow.